Tonight is the 3rd of September 2011, and this is the third night we are speaking on the Theragatha. Tonight we come to the groups of 4 verses. Verse 267, Naga Samala, ornamented, well-dressed, wearing a garland, anointed with sandal. In the middle of the main road, a dancing girl dances to music. 268. I entered for alms. As I was going along, I saw her ornamented, well-dressed, like a snare of death spread out. 269. Then reason thinking arose in me. The peril became clear. Disgust with the world was established. 270. Then my mind was released. See the essential rightness of the Dhamma. The 3 knowledges have been obtained. The Buddha's teaching has been done. You find this sometimes. These monks attain enlightenment at a time when they don't expect it. Sometimes you practice vipassana, you contemplate this, you contemplate that, and don't seem to bring on the result. But when you don't expect it, suddenly. Now we come to Bagu. 271. I went forth from my cell, overcome by torpor. Stepping up on the terrace, I fell to the earth on that very spot. 272. Rubbing my limbs, stepping up onto the terrace again. I paced up and down on the terrace. I was well concentrated inside. 273. Then reason thinking arose in me. The peril became clear. Disgust with the world was established. 274. Then my mind was released. See the essential rightness of the Dhamma. 3 knowledges have been obtained. The Buddha's teaching has been done. So he stepped forth from his cell, from his room. And the terrace refers to the walking path. Certain walking paths, they are a bit elevated. You see, usually they become enlightened when you see the disgust with the world was established. So because of the disgust with the world, then they let go of that clinging to that self. Then they attain release. Sabbya. 275. Others too do not know that we come to an end here, but those who have knowledge in this respect, thereby their quarrels cease. 276. And when those who are ignorant behave as though undying, those who know the Dhamma are diseaseless among the diseased. 277. Whatever action is slack, and whatever vow is defiled, whatever holy living is vile, that does not bring great reward. 278. He who has no reverence for those living the holy life with him is as far from the true Dhamma as the sky is from the earth. And Dukkha. 279. A curse upon bodies, evil smelling, on Mara's side, oozing. There are 9 streams in your body which flow all the time. 280. Do not think much of bodies. Do not offend the Tathagatas. They are not interested in heaven. How much less in human existence? 281. But those who are fools, are stupid, have bad advisers, are cloaked in delusion, such men are interested therein. When the snare has been thrown by Mara, or the bait has been thrown by Mara. 282. Those whose desire and hatred and ignorance are discarded, such are not interested therein, having cut their cords, being without bonds. Jambuka. 283. For 55 years I wore dust and dirt, eating a meal once a month. I tore out my beard and hair. 284. I stood on one leg. I avoided a seat. I ate dry dung, and I did not accept special food. 285. Having done many such actions leading to a bad transition or bad rebirth, being swept along by the great flood, I went to the Buddha as a refuge. 286. See the going to the refuge. See the essential rightness of the Dhamma. The three knowledges have been obtained. The Buddha's teaching has been done. This one is one of those ascetics practicing all the unbeneficial ascetic practices. I wore dust and dirt, probably was a naked ascetic. So he has no clothes on except the dust and the dirt. And then he eats one meal once a month. And when the hair and the beard grows, he tears them out instead of shave. Standing on one leg sometimes, eating dry dung. Senaka, 287. It was truly welcome to me at Gaya, at the Gaya Spring Festival, when I saw the Enlightened One teaching the Supreme Dhamma. 288. Very splendid, teacher of a group, having attained to the foremost state, the leader, conqueror of the world, including the Devas, of unequal insight. 289. Great elephant, I guess, refers to the great Naga, great hero, with great splendor, without asavas, with all the asavas completely annihilated, the teacher who has no fear from any quarter. 290. That Blessed One freed me, Sanaka, from all ties, truly long defiled, and tethered with the tether of wrong view. Sambuddha, 291. The fool who hurries at the time for going slowly, but goes slowly when there is something to be hurried, goes to pain because of his unreasoned arrangements. 292. His affairs wane away like the moon in the dark fortnight, and he acquires disgrace and is at variance with his friends. 293. The wise man who goes slowly at the time for going slowly, but hurries when there is something to be hurried, obtains happiness because of his reasoned arrangements. 294. His affairs increase like the moon in the bright fortnight, and he acquires fame and renown. He is not at variance with his friends. Rahula. 295. They know me as lucky Rahula, fortunate for two reasons. One, that I am the Buddha's son, and the other, that I am one with vision into truths. 296. Since my asavas are exhausted, and since there is no renewed existence, I am an arahant, worthy of gifts, with triple knowledge, seeing the undying. 297. They are blind with sensual pleasures, enveloped in a net, covered with a cloak of craving, bound by the kinsman of the indolent, like fish in the mouth of a funnel net. 298. I, casting off that sensual pleasure, cutting Mara's bond, plucking out craving, root and all, have become cool, quenched. This is the Buddha's son, Rahula. Chandana, 299. Covered with silver ornaments, attended by a crowd of servant women, taking her child upon her hip, my wife approached me. 300. And seeing her coming, the mother of my child, adorned, well dressed, like a snare of death spread out. 301. Then reason thinking arose in me. The peril or danger became clear. Disgust with the world was established. 302. Then my mind was released. See the essential rightness of the Dhamma. The three knowledges have been obtained. The Buddha's teaching has been done. This is quite unusual. The former wife coming to him, and he saw the danger and disgust and let go. Dhammika, 303. Truly righteousness protects the practicer of righteousness. Righteousness, when well practiced, brings happiness. This is the reward of righteousness when well practiced. The practicer of righteousness does not go to a bad rebirth. 304. For righteousness and unrighteousness do not both have equal results. Unrighteousness leads to hell. Righteousness brings one to a good rebirth. 305. Therefore, one should show zeal for acts of righteousness, thus rejoicing because of the venerable welfarer. Standing in the Dhamma of the best of the welfarers, the disciples are led on, firm, going to the top of the best of refuges. 306. The root of the cancer has been burst. The net of craving has been rooted out. He has annihilated journeyings on, and there is no stain upon him, like the moon on a clear full moon night. Sapaka. 307. When the crane, with clear bright wings, terrified by fear of the black cloud, flees to shelter, seeking shelter, then the river Ajakarani delights me. 308. When the crane, clear and bright, terrified by fear of the black clouds, flees to refuge, not seeing refuge, then the river Ajakarani delights me. 309. Whom indeed do the jambu trees not delight there on both banks? They adorn the bank of the river behind my cave. 310. The deep-voiced frogs, well rid of the group of those who rejoice in the undying, croak. Today is not the time for staying away from the hill streams. The river Ajakarani is safe, pleasant, delightful. This monk stays in the deep forest. Mudita. 311. I abandoned the world for the sake of life. Having obtained ordination, then I gained faith. I made an effort, having strong energy. 312. Let this body be broken willingly. Let the lumps of flesh be dissolved. Let both my legs fall down from the knee joints. 313. I shall not eat, I shall not drink, nor shall I go forth from my cell or my room. I shall not even lie down on my side, while the dart of craving is not removed. 314. See my energy and effort as I dwell thus. The three knowledges have been obtained. The Buddha's teaching has been done. Rajadatta. 315. I, a monk, going to a burial ground, saw a woman cast away, thrown away in the cemetery, being eaten, full of worms. 316. Seeing her, dead and evil, some men were disgusted. But in my case, desire for sensual pleasures arose. Truly, I was as though blind with regard to the flowing body. 317. Quicker than the cooking of rice, I left that place. Possessed of mindfulness, attentive, I sat down on one side. 318. Then reason thinking arose in me. The peril or danger became clear. Disgust with the world was established. 319. Then my mind was released. See the essential rightness of the Dhamma. The three knowledges have been obtained. The Buddha's teaching has been done. Subhuta. 320. Devoting himself to some wrong practice, desiring some end. If practicing he does not attain it, a man says, that is a mark of my bad fortune. 321. If one should let go one misery which had been plucked out and conquered, that would be a losing throw as it were. But if one were to let go all, he would be as though blind because of not seeing the smooth and the rough. 322. One should say only what one would do. One should not say what one would not do. Clever men recognize one who talks but does not act. 323. As a beautiful flower, full of color but without scent, so are the well-spoken but fruitless words of one who does not act. 324. As a beautiful flower, full of color and with scent, so are the well-spoken and fruitful words of one who acts. Giri Mananda. 325. The sky rains melodiously. My small hut is roofed, pleasant, draught-free. In it I dwell calm. So rain, sky, if you wish. 326. The sky rains melodiously. My small hut is roofed, pleasant, draught-free. In it I dwell with peaceful mind. So rain, sky, if you wish. 327. The sky rains melodiously. My small hut is roofed, pleasant, draught-free. In it I dwell rid of desire. So rain, sky, if you wish. 328. The sky rains melodiously. My small hut is roofed, pleasant, draught-free. In it I dwell rid of hatred. So rain, sky, if you wish. 329. The sky rains melodiously. My small hut is roofed, pleasant, draught-free. In it I dwell, rid of delusion. So reign sky if you wish. Sumana 330. That which the preceptor desired me to do with regard to the teachings when he helped me who wished for the undying has been done by me. 331. I myself have attained and realized the Dhamma. It has not been received by others' tradition. With purified knowledge and without doubt, I explain it in your presence. 332. I know my former habitations. That means former past lives. My Deva eye is purified. I have obtained the true goal. The Buddha's teaching has been done. 333. I have been vigilant. My training has been well learned in your teaching. All my asavas are annihilated. There is now no renewed existence. 334. You taught me the noble vows. You were compassionate. You helped me. Your exhortation was not in vain. I am your trained pupil. Vada 335. Well, indeed did my mother show or use the goat. Hearing whose bidding, instructed by my mother, I attained to the supreme enlightenment, putting forth effort resolute. 336. I am an Arahant worthy of gifts with triple knowledge, seeing the undying. Having conquered Namuchi's army, I dwell without asavas. This Namuchi is another name for Mara. 337. The asavas which were found in me, inside and outside, are all without exception cut out and will not arise again. 338. My wise sister said this to me. Now in you as in me, craving is not found. 339. Pain is brought to an end. This is the final body, connected with the journeying on of birth and death. There is now no renewed existence. This one may be the mother, is a nun, an Arahant nun. And the sister is also an Arahant nun. Nadi Kassapa, this is one of the Kassapa brothers who were formerly this Jatila, matted hair ascetics. 340. Truly for my sake the Buddha went to the river Naranjara. Having heard his Dhamma, I avoided wrong view. 341. Previously I sacrificed various sacrifices. A blind, ordinary individual. I performed the Agihutta or fire sacrifice, thinking this is purity. 342. Entered into the thicket of wrong views, dazed by misapprehension, blind, ignorant. I thought impurity was purity. 343. I have eliminated my wrong view. All existences have been torn asunder. I now sacrifice to the fire, which really merits a gift. I revere the Tathagata. 344. I have eliminated all delusions. Craving for existence has been torn asunder. Journeying on from rebirth to rebirth is completely annihilated. There is now no renewed existence. Gaya Kassapa, the other brother. 345. 3 times a day, in the morning, at midday, in the evening, I went down into the watery stream at Gaya, at the Gaya Spring Festival. 346. Whatever evil was done by me previously in other births, that I now wash away here. Such was the view I formerly held. 347. Hearing the well-spoken utterance, the word connected with the Dhamma and the goal, I gave reasoned consideration to the true and essential goal. 348. Now I have washed away all evil. I am spotless, purified, clean, the cleansed air of the cleansed, the true-born son of the Buddha. 349. Having plunged into the eightfold stream, I have washed all my evil away. I have attained the 3 knowledges. The Buddha's teaching has been done. So it says here formally, being Jatila, they thought they can wash away their sins by submerging in the holy river. So they thought the river will carry away their sins. So in the morning, midday and evening, they would do that. Vakali. 350. Brought low by colic, dwelling in the grove, in the wood, where there is a restricted food supply, where it is harsh, how will you fare, monk? 351. Suffusing the body with much joy and happiness, enduring even what is harsh, I shall dwell in the grove. 352. Developing the intense states of mindfulness, the faculties and the powers, and developing the constituents of enlightenment, I shall dwell in the grove. 253. Having seen men putting forth energy, resolute, always with strong effort, harmonious, united, I shall dwell in the grove. 354. Recollecting the enlightened one, the foremost, the tame, the concentrated, not relaxing day or night, I shall dwell in the grove. So he says, dwelling in the grove or in the forest, the food is restricted and not so plentiful food, and yet he is happy there, practicing all the Bodhipakya Dhamma. Vijita Sena, 355. I shall fasten you mine like an elephant at a small gate. I shall not incite you to evil, you net of sensual pleasures, body born. 356. When fastened, you will not go, like an elephant not finding the gate open. Which mine? You will not wander again and again, using force, delighting in evil. 357. As a strong hook holder or mahout makes an untamed elephant, newly taken, turn against its will, so shall I make you turn. 358. As the excellent charioteer, skilled in the taming of excellent horses, tames a thoroughbred, so shall I, standing firm in the 5 powers, tame you. 359. I shall bind you with mindfulness, with purified self I shall cleanse you. Restrained by the yoke of energy, you will not go far from here, mind. So this one before, he was enlightened, he put in a lot of effort, as this shows. Yasa datta, 360. Having a hostile mind, the fool hears the conqueror's teaching. He is as far from the true Dhamma as the earth is from the sky. 361. Having a hostile mind, the fool hears the conqueror's teaching. He wanes away from the true Dhamma, like the moon in the dark fortnight. 362. Having a hostile mind, the fool hears the conqueror's teaching. He dries up in the true Dhamma, like a fish in little water. 363. Having a hostile mind, the fool hears the conqueror's teaching. He does not thrive in the true Dhamma, like a rotten seed in a field. 364. But he who hears the conqueror's teaching with a joyful mind, having annihilated all his asavas, having realized the state of imperturbability, having attained to highest peace, he is quenched without asavas. Sona Kutikana, 365. I have obtained ordination and I am released without asavas. I have both seen the Blessed One and dwelt with him in the abode. 366. The Blessed One spent much of the night in the open air. Then the teacher, skilled in the abodes, entered the abode. 367. Spreading his outer robe, Gautama made his bed, like a lion in a rocky cave, with fear and terror eliminated. 368. Then Sona, the disciple of the fully enlightened one, having a clear delivery, uttered the true Dhamma in the presence of the best of the Buddhas. 269. Knowing the 5 elements of existence, having cultivated the straight path, having attained to highest peace, he will be quenched without asavas. This Sona Kutikana was a family man, and he was a disciple of, I think, Mahakachana, the Arahant. He asked to ordain 3 times. At first 2 times, Mahakachana asked him to practice at home. And after he asked the 3rd time, then the Arahant made effort to get monks to ordain him, because they stay in a place very remote, very, very few monks. And to ordain a monk, they need 10 monks. So he took 2 or 3 years to find 10 monks to ordain this Sona. And then after Sona was ordained, Sona one day felt he wanted to see the Buddha. and asked this preceptor Mahakachana for permission, and Mahakachana gave him permission. So he walked a long way to where the Buddha was to see the Buddha. So the Buddha took a liking to him and allowed him to stay in the kuti with the same kuti as the Buddha. And the Buddha spent much of the night in meditation. He also spent much of the night in meditation. And after that, the Buddha asked him to chant some Dhamma, because in those days all the monks have to memorize the suttas. There was no books, so he had to chant what he knew. So he chanted, I think the Sutta Nipata Sutta. And the Buddha was quite pleased with his chant. And then the Buddha asked him where he was from and all these things. And then, so that's why he said, the Buddha. So at this time when he spoke this verse, I think he has not attained to enlightenment. He said, he will be quenched without asavas. Kosia 370. Whoever, knowing his teacher's utterance, shall dwell in it firm, and shall produce affection, he indeed is devoted and clever, and having knowledge in respect of phenomena, would possess distinction. 371. Whom great misfortunes, when they arise, do not disturb, while he is reflecting, he indeed is strong, clever, and having knowledge in respect of phenomena, would possess distinction. Phenomena means the object of consciousness, basically the world. 372. He who stands like the sea, unmoved, with profound wisdom, seeing the subtle goal, is indeed immovable, clever, and having knowledge in respect of phenomena, would possess distinction. 373. He has great learning and is expert in the Dhamma. He practices righteousness in accordance with the Dhamma. He indeed is such a one, clever, and having knowledge in respect of phenomena, would possess distinction. 374. He who knows the meaning of what is said, and knowing the meaning acts accordingly, he indeed is clever, concurring in the meaning, and having knowledge in respect of phenomena, would possess distinction.